And good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day. It is the 24th of June. We still got that June gloom out there. It's going to continue throughout the week and staying below normal temperatures. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. On our show today, we're going to bring you a segment with Third Mutual, and I sat down with Lynn Jarrett and quite a few things that she talked about. Also, we have a doctor from Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center, and that's Dr. Montgomery talking about orthopedics. And we're going to bring you a segment from RadNet. And then, well, you know, we are in the season right now where all the different fun summer events are going on. So we're going to tell you all about the Orange County Fair coming up. Now, as far as meetings go today, there are 3, and it's been a while since on Mondays we've had this many meetings, but 9:30 we have a Third Architectural Control and Standards meeting at in the boardroom at 1:30. JRF Security and Community Access also in the boardroom, and then United Governing Documents, and they will be in the Sycamore Room at 1:30. Now, let's get to the weather, and what we had yesterday is going to continue throughout the week. Saturday was really nice. We started out sunny, sunshine almost right away, but yesterday that fog came back, and so we're going to continue with that for the next, really the next several days, probably until Saturday. Things are going to start to warm up as we get to Saturday and particularly Sunday to more normal conditions. Again, normal would be right around 80 degrees or so. We're going to be well below that most of this week, and really every day is going to be about the same. You know the drill, morning marine layer, and then becoming sunny. It just depends how thick the marine layer is, how much it sticks around, and we could have the sun coming out some days at 10 o'clock, other days afternoon. So we'll just see. You saw yesterday it was pretty darn nice, and it cleared up fairly early. So we'll see, but that's what this week is going to bring. Now, as far as Orange County and beyond today, again, all the temperatures except really for Lake Arrowhead area and Palm Springs are below normal. You know, they aren't getting this marine layer, so Palm Springs is at where they should be. They've been over that 100-degree mark now, I think, for at least a couple weeks. And Lake Arrowhead has been very nice up there, hitting like anywhere from the upper 60s to mid 70s for a couple weeks as well. So they are at where they should be. And I think even Lake Arrowhead might be above by a couple degrees. But everywhere else, the foothills and inland Orange County, they're getting a little close to what they should be. Right now, usually they're around 82, 83. So they're getting close to that up there. They're not getting as much of a thick marine layer and hanging around as we are right here. So overall, I kind of like this weather. So good gardening weather. We'll be back.
How does it make it better by spending money on it?
Hey Laguna Woods, it's Ken.
And Lisa.
Did you miss an episode of This Day? Not to worry. Head over to youtube.com and search Village Television.
Here you can find each episode of This Day and other community programs such as Good Day OC, Discovering Laguna Woods, and much more.
Just click the red subscribe button, then click the bell to be emailed every time we upload a video.
Don't miss out.
And subscribe today. And I'd like to welcome right now Lynn Jarrett, who is on the Third Mutual Board. Welcome. Hope you had a nice weekend.
Thanks, I did. Did
All
you?
right, I did, yes.
All right.
Thank you very much. You know, unfortunately, we're going to start on a sad note right now.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We are. We lost Jack Conley last week,
Mm-hmm.
late last week. Jack lost his battle with cancer, and we really, really are sad about Jack because everybody loved Jack.
Yeah.
And he did such a good job as treasurer on our board. So he's going to be missed. And services are pending right now, so we don't know anything. But I just wanted to let the community know.
All right. Yeah, he was on a couple times with us, and just a very nice,
very
nice
nice
guy.
man. Very
That's too
nice
bad.
man. Mm-hmm.
So I do know that you know, about a month or so ago, John Pearlstone took over as treasurer.
Yes.
Yeah, which that was Jack's position.
Right, right. Yes, in fact, Jack knew he was failing, but John went over to his home and they sat down and they discussed a lot of things and had sort of a transition into the treasurer position. And so shortly thereafter, Jack told Rosemary that he would like to stay on the board, but he just couldn't do that treasurer job. It's a big job.
Yeah.
So now we have John in that position. He's doing a wonderful job because we're right now in the budget season.
Yeah.
And it's really, really difficult. So to have our treasurer in place is wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah. And also, Annie McCary is now head of the communications committee.
Yes, on
that
third
one.
board, yes. She's the head of the communications, and we're I'm on that committee too. And we're going to take that in a little bit different direction, get her involved more with the community and that type of thing like that. And some
very good.
some of the events that are going on, like the election coming up,
Right.
and that kind of thing.
All right, and we'll talk about that
Sure.
in a bit.
Sure.
And Reza Karimi is now overseeing the water committee, and this is a big one.
And Jack was on the head of the water
Yeah.
committee before, but he also gave that up. And Reza, we had to really kind of prod him into taking that position because he really, he's been such a short timer on our board, so he really didn't know what it entailed. But Cush and Reza and I went to the water board district meeting about a month ago, and Reza got firsthand, a lot of firsthand knowledge. But once he started getting in there and digging into it, he's had a meeting this week with Ernesto, and they've now recruited Catherine Freshley to be an advisor on this board, and she's on the board of the water district. So I think Reza's going to do a lot of good work on the water committee,
right.
because really our water bill is going up next year a little over 2%, and it's 2.7 million this year. Next year to go up about 2.7 or 2.2, something like that. But the following year it's going to go up over 4%.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's infrastructure,
right?
The pipes and that kind of thing. Redoing the pipes from over the water district over to here. So it's a lot of work.
It is.
A lot of money.
Yeah, I know that myself too, where I live. The 2020 budget, we're almost there. The final presentation is usually coming up in a couple months.
Yeah, we're with you next month. And we've all been working really hard together as a team on the board, but also with staff. And so it's a biggie. And this year we decided to put a lot of money into waistline remediation in the future. In the past, we put a lot of money into dry rot.
Yes.
A lot of money into dry rot. And by no means are we finished with dry rot, but the waistline remediation project, if we go at the pace we've been going, it's going to take us 10 years to line all those pipes in those buildings. So we decided to move that up ahead, try to get that done in a 3 to 4 year period of time.
Okay.
So that's a big deal.
And that'll, in the long run, should save some money.
It'll save a lot of money by moving that project up.
Now, golf cart and the parking task force, that's always a big issue.
It's a real big issue, and I'm on that committee too. And 2 weeks ago, I drove over there to the wedding cake area. That's off gate 5 and 6. And I had never been up in there where you weave around and around and around to get up there. I couldn't believe how tight it was for the residents to have any parking. Any extra parking. But we're going to try to eke out every possible space we can for golf carts and for cars. We're going to make some new rules for trucks that are hanging out of the carports way into the street, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's an interesting area, something that probably wouldn't have been designed that way today.
Not at all, but that's just a start for this task force. We got more work to do.
All right, of course, landscape, and you're the chair of that.
Yes. This week was third board approved the big ticket item for the slope maintenance. The two big ticket items for budget for landscape are slope maintenance and trees. Trees is a real biggie. And anyway, we got that contract assigned and approved, and the work will begin July the 1st. We have a pilot project in the works for the turf modernization project. It's not really in the works in the paperwork cycle right now. But we hope to get this pilot project done this year so that we can prove how beautiful it's going to be to beautify the community and save a lot of water at the same time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of systems, we were talking to Jeff Parker this week, you know, and he was head of the city manager at Tustin, and he said, hey, we got rid of all our grass up there and went to turf. To the modernization idea of the drought tolerant plants. It's necessary.
Yeah, it is, definitely. And then it cuts down on landscape work in general.
Oh yeah, the maintenance of the grass is unbelievable.
All right, you know, along with that, tree work, you know, irregardless of what happens, there'll still be
the trees
all over that'll have to be maintained. We have actually
in third, not counting all the people's private fruit trees, we have 13,000 trees to maintain in just third. It's a lot. And this year we didn't have money in the budget, very minimal money in the budget to work on trees. The only money, because all the money for tree work went to United this year of 2019. So what happened is that, you know, as time goes on, we have to do some removals when there's reasons to do them right away. And we had to do some tree trimming, especially around light fixtures, you know, on the streets. So this coming year, we have a big ticket item. That's our biggest ticket item for next year. And landscape is tree maintenance. So, you know, there's kind of like a 5-year cycle for tree trimming. And when they do the trees, they trim, and then when they trim trees, they trim 25% of the tree.
Okay. Because
some of them don't get trimmed but every 5 years.
Right.
It depends on the type and the species of when they get trimmed. Anyway, the landscape committee, which I chair that committee also, I told you, we are working right now on helping to update the manual, the landscape maintenance manual. So when we started driving around the neighborhoods and really taking a good look at some of the plants, and people, you know, have ivy and beautiful plants hanging over wooden walls, and that's just not right. They have some of their personal plants going up up to the sides of the buildings. So we've got to make some, and we got to make some revisions on the rules, and maybe add some new ones. So we're looking at that.
Right. Now, of course, just like United, the new herbicide Finale is now being used, and that was took several months, quite a long time for Kurt and his.
You know, when you go around the buildings, for example, right now, what's happening is there's a trail, you know, right around the edge of the buildings where they used to put the Roundup, between the shrubs and the grass, and there would be about this much area. Yeah. Now it's about another this much area over here. It's a different color because they're using Finale. Okay. And, you know, and button right up against that old Roundup. So the Finale is in use, I'll tell you.
Okay. Now, what's this about the silver dollar gum tree?
Yeah, that was a shock. That happened Thursday morning. And the tree just fell down on its own. So I talked to Kurt and I asked him, why did that tree fall? He said, well, it had really, really shallow roots and was on a steep slope over there. And it just fell early in the morning. And it took a while, but they got the crews out there and they cleaned it all up. So.
All right, very good. And another lighting project pilot is going to be happening.
Yeah, the lighting, we have a big dollar amount in the budget for lighting. So we're, you know, we still have to go into cul-de-sacs and things like that and put some lights. So they're going to do some pilots in cul-de-sacs and things like that before they finally choose the path they're going to take for the lighting. Okay. The additional lighting.
All right, and then of course the 3-story buildings. There's always work to be done there.
Yeah, the breezeway, well, you know, I'm real close to the 3-story buildings because I've been involved on that board for 10 years. Right. And I was president for the last 4 years till recently. But the breezeway project was real controversial. We did a pilot last year, and we took buildings 23, 84, 85, and 86 and removed the artificial turf and put concrete there. And when we did that, and it came out really nice, but it was very controversial and still not pleasing to a lot of people's eyes. And so they were kind of fighting it. So we now canceled that project for this year. It was like a $210,000 item. So we said, we don't need to make people unhappy. That's not our thing to do. So we asked the staff to continue looking at alternate products instead of concrete and instead of this artificial turf.
Okay.
So that'll be in the future.
All right, very good. And of course, there's the mail rooms and elevator replacements,
Yeah.
all kinds of things.
All that stuff's going on right now. The lobbies, the mail rooms, the elevator replacements. They try to do so many each year so they can get them accomplished, because that work is pretty expensive.
Yeah, it is. Dan, you wanted to talk briefly about gates 4 and 10?
Yeah, gates 4 and 10 are closed as of today, and there's alternate routes, and then alternate gates that people can use. And in gate 14, because there's no alternate gate they can use, they're going to be having 2 lanes, one going and coming, one coming, and people really have to slow down because they're going to have to share that space for 6 weeks.
Right, right. Now, finally, we're going to talk about the election schedule coming up on Thursday.
Yes.
You folks are having a meet and greet just like United did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, we are. So we've invited some people out, but more people are welcome to come. We really need candidates. We really, really need candidates.
Okay.
And that's going to happen at 4 o'clock Thursday in the boardroom from 4 to 5:30 for any interested candidates.
Okay.
Really looking forward to that.
All right, so we'll mention that again, of course.
Yep.
And nominations are open on July 12th, and then they close about a month later on August 14th.
Right, right. And then we have an election, and the new term begins in October
Okay.
3rd. So I did want to mention that the next GVA meeting will be held on Thursday, July the 11th at 10 a.m. in Clubhouse 5.
Okay.
So
All right.
That's
Good.
about it.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Thank you.
We'll see you again.
Yes,
and
we
of
will.
course, your meet and greet, we'll mention that
Thanks, Kim.
as it
It's always
comes up
nice
in
to
just a few
see you.
days. Good to see you
Thank
too.
you.
We'll be right back.
Through my window, I see the first sunlight, and I feel the warm ocean breeze. I see the waves that lulled me all night. That's what my window brings me.
Look at this.
That view is $1 million.
It's amazing we can look at these kinds of places within our budget.
You don't have a bad view from here anywhere you look.
It's all about the view. Sunday night is beach night. Sunday night at 8, only on HGTV.
Breast cancer takes patients down paths they never expected, and Memorial Care Comprehensive Breast Center at Saddleback can help navigate the way. We provide multidisciplinary breast care services for the early detection, diagnosis, and treatment of breast cancer using state-of-the-art technology in a personalized environment designed to meet the needs of each woman.
Welcome back. With you right now from Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center is Dr. Lance Montgomery, and you are an orthopedic surgeon.
Yes.
Right? And today, well, we're going to talk about joint pain. So welcome. Nice to have you here today.
Well, thanks. It's so nice to be here, Ken.
I was looking over your background when we were talking, and you've been at UCI, up at Stanford University, several things, and even you were in New England.
Yes.
Wow.
I trained here in medical school at UC Irvine. Then I did 5 years of orthopedic residency at Stanford. Then I did another extra year of joint replacement surgery in Boston, working with some of the pioneers of joint replacement. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Boston's a neat city anyway.
yeah, I got to go there one day. That's interesting. You went from one coast to the other for a while, and then back here.
Yes.
Very interesting.
We grew up here, and so my wife said, I'm not going to live anywhere except Orange County, so we had to make our way back.
So, you know, joint problems, it can be anywhere from minor, from something that, you know, we were talking beforehand, maybe you work out or something and got a little bit here and there. That's probably hits us all.
Yes, well,
right?
People who live here in California love the California lifestyle. they're active, they play golf, they play tennis, they go for power walking, and it's very common for them to develop pain in the joints.
Right.
And so when they get bad enough and they can't do the things they love, they can't golf, they can't play tennis, then they come to see me. And then we try and figure out what's going on and how to fix it.
What are some of the causes? Is it with the bone joints itself, tendons, muscle?
Right, it's very common, first of all, to have injuries. You'll swing the club and you'll twist the knee and you'll feel a pop and suddenly it's painful and it swells up, or tennis, or they'll have an overuse injury when they hike too much, and the knee joint can either be injured acutely or subacutely. Acute injuries could be anything from a ligament tear or a meniscus tear in the knee, or just overuse from chronic stress, like if they're hiking too much, it just starts getting sore. So there's a lot of reasons for joint pain, and the treatment, of course, is different for each one.
Okay, so obviously something that it might just last a week or a couple weeks, but then when it becomes chronic, that's when you step in.
Right, most of the time when they have some aches and pains in the joint, they'll try Tylenol or ibuprofen or Aleve, Advil, one of those things, and they usually get better. Most of the time it gets better after a few days.
Okay.
If it goes longer than a week or so, or they start developing popping or recurrent swelling in the knee, that's something to be examined. Sometimes with shoulder injuries, golf, tennis, things like that can injure the shoulder too, and if that goes away, fine. But if it doesn't and they start getting weakness and they can't lift the arm, that's something that's really critical and they need to get checked.
Okay, so as far as deciding to come to see someone like yourself, they make that determination probably with their primary doctor or whoever it might be, and they figure out that you got to take the next step.
Right. Yeah. Usually, if there's a problem and it doesn't go away within a few days, they'll call their family doctor or primary care physician, and if he can't figure it out, he'll send them straight over to my office, and we'll take over from there.
Okay. As far as taking care of that, obviously you're going to see if this something can be done with medication or much more.
Right. First, when they come to see me, the first thing we do is take a history. Find out what it was that caused the pain, what it's like. Is it sharp? Is it dull? Is it constant, or just at night, or just in the daytime? So we'll figure out what it is that's bothering them. Then we'll examine the knee, for example, and find out where it's coming from. If it hurts here or there, things can point to what type of injury it is. And then from there, sometimes we'll get an x-ray and see what the bone looks like. In orthopedic surgery, we're dealing with bones all the time, and so the x-rays can tell us a lot of information that we really can't see with our eyes. It shows us arthritis, it shows us the joint space, it shows bone spurs and things like that. So after an examination and x-rays, then we can help them decide what to do for it. There are generally several things that we can do. Easy things like prescription strength anti-inflammatory pills, or glucosamine, for example. Fish oil, turmeric seems to be something that reduces inflammation. And then sometimes we'll do a cortisone shot. That helps. When the pills don't help, the cortisone may help. Sometimes there's a lubricating injection that we do for knees. There's several different companies that make it, but we call it viscosupplementation. It's just an injection that goes into the joint and makes it more slippery, and that seems to help too. So there's a lot of different treatments before we end up doing surgery.
Okay, and of course, when you do the surgery, it could wind up being a complete replacement.
Right. Depending on what the problem is, if it's, for an example, a meniscus tear in the knee, an arthroscopic operation is a very simple way to treat that. We go in through little poke holes, and we have instruments that can just trim out the tear, and that usually makes it almost as good as new. But when the joint's too bad and there's too much arthritis, it's bone on bone, for example, then that's kind of an end-stage arthritic condition where nothing's going to help other than a knee replacement, or a shoulder replacement, or a hip replacement. Cartilage is on the end of the bone, and usually it's like snow on a fresh hill. But as the sun comes out, that snow starts to melt, and pretty soon you see bare bone there, and that's a bad condition that is very painful and hard to get rid of other than doing the joint replacement. But these days, joint replacements are excellent. They're not as bad as they used to be years ago. We have better pain control, we have better methods, better instrumentation, better prostheses, and by and large, most patients feel so much better after their joint replacement that they wish they had had it a lot sooner because they see how good it feels. They can get back to golfing, tennis, all the favorite sports that they like to do.
Now, what are some of the causes here? You mentioned arthritis. What about like osteoporosis, those kinds of things?
Right, yeah, osteoporosis contributes to it, and these days, you know, people have less osteoporosis than they used to. We have Fosamax and other medications that kind of strengthen the bone. Most people here in California are very active, and one of the best things to avoid osteoporosis is just staying active with weight-bearing activities. But like I said, injuries, you know, falling off a ladder, taking a bad swing, those all can contribute to damage to the joint. Once it's damaged, it's like a slow, progressive deterioration until they get arthritis. Another thing is rheumatoid arthritis. That's a real unfortunate disease. Rheumatoid is different than the other types of arthritis, and it's like the body reacting to itself. Right. It's a way that the body thinks it's doing some good, but it's actually doing some bad. It melts the cartilage away until there's no cartilage in the knee, and there are various medications that help slow that down, but the ultimate result is they just don't have any cartilage left in the knee or the shoulder, and then they need the joint replacement. But again, when they see how good it feels afterwards, they're wishing that they had that joint replacement a long time sooner. Okay, when someone like you said gets an injury, again, golfing, whatever it might be, and you know, okay, here's the exact problem. This is why this happened. Probably pretty easy to figure out. Is that something, you know, you mentioned, can you get like temporary arthritis or bursitis or something like that? You can.
Or does it have to be, okay.
Right, there's a lot of other things that cause joint pain other than arthritis. Very common around the knee or the shoulder to get tendonitis. Okay. Rotator cuff tendonitis in the shoulder, for example, is very common. And you know, when someone's doing a lot of activities with their arm, tennis, painting the ceiling, things like that, you can get some tendonitis in the shoulder, or with various activities you can get a tendonitis in the knee joint. Jumping, for example, gives you jumper's knee, which is a tendonitis of the patella tendon. And so there's a lot of other causes of joint discomfort. And again, we can figure that out quite easily with a history and an examination, and sometimes x-rays. Okay. Now, as far as getting a joint replaced, what's the recovery time? Let's, you know, not maybe, let's say it's a knee or a hip or something like that. I know that there's so much advancements in there right now that people are often up fairly short amount of time. Yeah, let's take a knee, for example. When a patient has terrible arthritis and they need a knee replacement, we go ahead and start the process. We get permission, we set the date. They come in, and for example, if they do the operation in the morning, they will get the operation in the morning, they'll have pain medication, they'll get up immediately with physical therapy later that afternoon. Wow. They'll walk around, and a lot of patients go home the same day. So later that day, on the same day of surgery, they'll be going home, then they get home therapy. The therapist will come to the house, they get a home nurse to come out and help them out. And if they don't go home the same day, it's usually one night in the hospital and they go home. We have something we call multimodal pain management, which is another way that we have improved the joint replacement process recently. And that allows us to treat the joint with many different types of pain medication. There's blocks, you know, nerve blocks like you get at the dentist's office that kind of numbs it up. There are various medications to reduce inflammation, to reduce pain, to reduce anxiety, and things like that. They all work together to make the experience much better than it used to be. Wow. You're not screaming in pain like you used to 10 years ago. Yeah, that's fascinating. But it's a really great advancement, and things are going to get better and better in the future. We're excited about that. Sometimes we've heard about robot surgery, and that's the next thing coming up. Yeah, we're not trying to put you out of business. No, I'm still in control of the robot. Okay, all right. If you'd like to find out more information, you can go online to memorialcare.org/SB joint replacement. And it's been a pleasure talking. You too. You know, the advancements are wonderful. Thanks, Ken. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thanks. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I am so pleased to welcome you to JTV. We're a 24/7 home shopping network focused exclusively on jewelry and gemstones. And because we believe every woman deserves to be lifted up, we love to help her sparkle, keep her informed, and make her smile. Our viewer is passionate about jewelry and gemstones, and we share her passion. Because of that, she keeps coming back, making us one of the top retailers in the United States. We sell extraordinary products at extraordinary prices. Welcome to JTV.
This one is going to be a challenge for me.
Everything's moving 100 miles an hour.
This is your worst nightmare. Get out! Please, bring your dish forward.
MasterChef. Wednesdays are watch anytime on demand or Fox Now.
Thank you for joining us. Today I have Dr. Glenda Romero and Dr. Patricia Kincaid, who are both with RadNet, here to talk to us about head and neck imaging. Thank you both for being here with us.
Thanks for having us.
So you both have specialties, so we're going to go ahead and we'll start with Dr. Romero. Tell me a little bit about what are some of the most common head and neck diseases that radiological imaging is used for?
Some of the most common diseases that we see in our practice include thyroid nodules, the just newly felt palpable neck lump or mass, see thyroid, head and neck cancer, carotid artery stenosis or vascular disease of the neck vessels, hearing loss, and sinusitis.
Hearing loss. Now that's the first time I've heard that. Tell me, how would they diagnose that? Would they have a head image?
They could either have a CT of the skull base, or the area that connects the face with the brain. Looking for the inner ear structures. Sometimes there can be tumors. Sometimes there can be infection of the inner ear structures that can cause hearing loss or loss of balance. So those are some of the common entities that we see.
Is it usually just one time that they would have to do the imaging for that, or is there multiple times?
It depends what we find initially. Let's say we find a tumor of the inner ear. So they may get radiation or surgery for that particular tumor, and then we'll do follow-ups to see if that tumor is gone or if it's staying the same size.
Okay. Dr. Kincaid, she talked a little bit about thyroid nodules. What are those?
The thyroid gland is a small endocrine organ that just sits in the front of the neck here, and it's very common to get nodules in the thyroid. In fact, most people by the age of 60 will have at least one thyroid nodule, and the vast majority of nodules are benign, which means not cancer, over 95% of them.
And what are they made up of?
Well, it's variable. Some are solid and some may be fluid-filled, and we call those cystic. If it's purely cystic, then it's totally benign and you don't ever have to worry about it.
Okay, and then also you would find maybe lumps on your neck. What kind of lumps are we looking for?
Most of the time, a neck lump is also going to turn out to be benign. But we do all sorts of imaging procedures for patients who have a newly palpable lump. A lot of the times they're mildly enlarged lymph nodes that occur after, for example, an upper respiratory tract infection. Any kind of inflammatory process in the head and neck can cause your lymph nodes to get a little bit enlarged. And they may stay enlarged for 2 or 3 weeks after your cold is gone.
Right.
So it's always important to go to your doctor and have your doctor check it out to see if it's a lump to worry about. But like I said, a lot of them are nothing of concern.
So when I have noticed that what you were mentioning about an upper respiratory is that you do have enlarged glands. So what's the difference between having the enlarged gland and a lump? I mean, is a lump something smaller than, is it tiny, or would you just notice it right away?
Well, a lump is just anything that somebody feels. So if it's really small, like a pea size or an almond size, it's probably nothing to worry about. But if it's something larger, or if it's something that is getting larger over time, then those would be a little bit more worrisome.
Okay. All right. And you had mentioned a few different types of imaging that is done. Can you tell me some other things that are used for head and neck imaging?
For example, ultrasound. Ultrasound is used commonly to diagnose thyroid nodules. Sometimes there's also cysts in the thyroid gland. An enlarged thyroid gland, sometimes people will, like a doctor will order a thyroid ultrasound to look because they feel like the thyroid gland is enlarged. So we'll kind of take measurements of the thyroid gland and also see if there's any nodules that are concerning for malignancy. But luckily, the majority of nodules that we see are benign. Ultrasound is commonly used for carotid artery stenosis or vascular disease. So let's say someone has heart disease. Part of the workup in heart disease, let's say they have to have a CABG procedure or bypass procedure. A lot of times the surgeon will order a carotid ultrasound to make sure that their carotid arteries aren't significantly narrowed, because if they have narrowed vessels, that might have to be addressed before the heart surgery.
Oh, okay. And then for the thyroid nodules, which one did you say was the best one to use?
Ultrasound is by far the best way to image the thyroid gland. It's very sensitive to determine not only the size of the nodules, but the characteristics of the nodule. And when we look at those ultrasound images, we look at the shape of the nodule, whether it's solid or cystic, what its margins look like, if there's any little bits of calcium in the nodule. And based on those ultrasound features, we're able to use a risk stratification system to determine which nodules can be safely followed and which nodules may need to be biopsied.
Okay. And then how long do the exams take?
An ultrasound takes about 15 to 30 minutes. A CT, for example, that's pretty quick, depending on whether or not the patient needs contrast. I'd say anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. An MRI is a little bit more involved, and that can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what's ordered and whether or not the doctor orders contrast with that exam.
Okay, and let's talk about contrast, because I mean, no one likes it. Isn't there a pill? It's still the same. It's still the same. It's always been, right?
Yes. So it's important, I guess, for if the patient has a known allergy to contrast, to let their doctor know, and that way, if it's a severe allergy to contrast, they can be pre-medicated with steroids to get the contrast. But let's say they get CT contrast. When the patient's injected, it's a large amount, so it's important to be hydrated before the exam. Anyway, when they get the contrast, the patients will feel kind of a hot flush feeling, and they may feel the sensation they have to go to the bathroom, and that's a normal sensation. But the most important thing for if you have to have a contrast exam is to be hydrated, so that the technologist can start the IV pretty easily.
She's referring to the iodine contrast that we use for CT imaging. For MRIs, we use a different kind of contrast called gadolinium, and that is super easy to get, really very few effects, and really no medical concerns unless you have very severe renal failure, and then there may be some concerns.
Okay, all right, great. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us?
Just for general patients, if you have to have imaging, if you have previous exams from another institution, it's really important that you bring them so that we can compare to make sure that something's been stable over a period of time, or if it's growing. That's extremely important.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you both so much. I appreciate the information.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And for more information about what we've discussed here, please visit radnet.com. Thank you for joining us.
I'm Dr. Leif Loberg, and I want to welcome you to our brand new facility here in Laguna Woods. We've been serving the community since 2006, and we're super excited to bring you an awesome team of doctors, Dr. Jackson, Dr. Asaturians, Dr. Vian, and myself, here to serve you in our brand new state-of-the-art facility. Call us in the morning and we'll get you in the same day, guaranteed.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From our delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Welcome back. Well, it's that time of year again. It's the OC Fair that's coming up next month. And man, every time these gals come on, they make me so like starving and hungry because they have the best food. Well, welcome both of you. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
We had you on last time, and you're brand new to us. So not brand new to the fair, but brand new to us. Thank you so much. So, gosh, well, here we are again. You guys have amazing food, and then we were just talking about some of the food ahead of time. But before we get to that, let's talk about when it is and, you know, the timing and everything.
So the OC Fair opens on Friday, July 12th.
Okay.
We run straight through till August 11th, closed Mondays and Tuesdays.
Okay, okay, so you're closed Mondays and Tuesdays. What are the hours? I mean, is it from the morning to the late evening?
It is. There is acres of fun for everyone, starting on the weekdays at noon. We close at midnight. And then on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, we open an hour earlier at 11.
Oh, okay, great, great. And then the admission, you know, it's not that much really to get in.
It's a great deal, and we didn't raise our prices this year. So for general admission, it is $12 on the weekdays and $14 on Saturdays and Sundays. But there is a deal every single day at the fair. There's a promotion every day. There's some way to get in free or for a discounted amount, and it's great to bring friends, grandkids, everyone for a good price.
So give me an example of what kind of deal there could be. Like what kind of deals?
Let's say Fridays, for example. So Friday is senior days at the OC Fair, so you get in for a $2 discount. And then there are all kinds of deals in the carnival, rides and games for $2 until 4 p.m.
Oh, nice. Yes. Now, that's not just for seniors, though, on Friday. Is that the discounts on the rides?
No, that's for everyone. Yes, right. Yes,
how many seniors are going to ride those crazy rides? Oh my gosh.
That's a great thing for the grandkids.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I'd be surprised because I know and here's one of these rides. What is this?
Oh, this is the Titan. This is brand new. It's going to make its debut in California at the Orange County Fair this year. This is the USA's largest traveling booster arm ride, and it rockets you 17 stories in the air. And that's as tall as how many goats?
Oh, I think it was 102
goats.
Yeah. If you put them on top of each other.
Oh my gosh, so wait, so it's shooting you this way?
It's a big long arm. It's kind of scary. I'm not sure I'm getting on that one.
I'm not getting on that.
Well, what you have to do first is enjoy the concessions. You talked about the food, right? Go load up and then ride the ride.
Yeah. Do you have a trash can handy?
Yes.
Those are crazy. So let's actually talk about some of the things that are at the fair. So for instance, you know, many of our viewers have grandchildren, and so what are some of the fun things for the little ones?
We have an entire kids carnival area, and they have little games. It is so much fun. The kids really love the animals too. We have our Centennial Farm, and we have the livestock area.
Right.
They also have their own area called Explorium, and this year something new is a Lego contest in Explorium.
Oh.
I think the kids are going to have a great time with that one.
Oh, nice. That's great. You know, Legos are always so popular.
And they're always baby pigs. So that's kind of one of the highlights.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that's adorable. I love those little pigs.
We had a new litter of piglets born just a few weeks ago. I think they're the most colorful group of piglets I've ever seen at Centennial Farm.
Aww.
Pink, black, white, spotted. You know,
and
just
everybody can go look at those there. Right?
Yes,
oh, that's
and
great.
Here is a fun fact. You can watch them on the OCFair.com pig cam any day.
Oh, no kidding.
We have our pig cam going.
Oh,
so
that's cute.
That's fun all year long.
Oh my gosh, that is adorable. Super fun. Okay, so one thing, let's talk a little bit about the food, because you guys, I want to be the taste tester of how you guys decide on what kind of food. So tell me about the food that we're looking at now.
Well, you've got the cinnamon maple bacon bomb over there on the left, and I tasted that one. It is so good. It is salty and savory and sweet. It's terrific with cream cheese frosting. And then we've got the Fruity Pebbles shrimp po' boy. That I have not tasted.
See, I don't know, Fruity Pebbles and shrimp. It must be good.
It's a crazy combination.
You've got to try it.
I guess I'm going to have to try that because I love Fruity Pebbles and shrimp. I'm putting those
together.
I don't know,
Who would have thought?
concerned about that.
and then if you want something a little on the healthier side, one of our concessionaires is serving avocado toast, which is so popular,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Yes, but it's served on a giant piece of sourdough toast. So we have to add a little fair
you can't just have
magic to it, right?
Right. It has to be huge. Okay, we've got another one coming up. What are these?
Let's see. We have the brisket mac and cheese sandwich that also comes with pork, and then we have the slider towers on a stick with tots. Lots of things with tots this year.
Okay.
Lots
you know,
of tots.
The sandwich on the left there, it's just like having all of your sides, but
just
in a
put
bun.
it all together.
It's breakfast at the fair.
Breakfast at the fair? It could be. It could be, right? I mean, you could go eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then you have your late night snack also, which would be my favorite, which is the funnel cakes. But those are always super delicious.
Yes.
Okay, so getting there, we talked about there's actually like what is it? A bus?
It is.
Okay.
So in our partnership with OCTA, your viewers here in Laguna Woods can actually catch the bus at the Laguna Hills station, ride it to the fair for a $4 round trip.
Okay.
It pulls up right to one of our main gates, and they get us a coupon on board to enter the fair for $4.
Oh, God.
So for $8 round trip, non-stop, by the way, from Laguna Hills straight to Costa Mesa.
Okay.
$4 to get into the fair, and the bus will take them home too. And everyone on that bus is going to the fair. Can you imagine how fun that would be?
Oh, that would be fun. That would be nice. Can they bring their guests on the bus as well?
Absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
Anybody.
And there's a special deal for seniors. It's $3 round trip.
Yes.
Everybody else rides for $4, so that's a special deal.
Good. That's great. Well, it seems like you guys are making a lot of nice headway in terms of making it easy for the seniors to get there. It's cost effective for them, and then once they get in, there's also some other discounts as well.
Absolutely, and we know that many of your viewers are, they're free to explore, to learn, to discover new things, and we want them to come to the fair and see all of that this year.
Excellent, excellent. We're showing a video now of all the fun things because there's so much to do and see, and you have some new value menus, which I think is kind of interesting. Grazing for savings. So tell me about how that works.
This year, our concessionaires are being asked to offer up some value pricing menus to make it even better, especially when you're taking kids and grandkids to the fair. Everybody wants something to eat, and hopefully they will come together with some great combinations at different price points. That's $7.19, $8.19, and $9.19 with little combo meals.
Oh, that's a great idea because, sometimes you just want to have, like I remember just going to something local here and it had just a small batch of little mashed potatoes and some brisket. It's like just enough.
Right.
But sometimes, you want to have the whole thing.
Yeah, and we also have our $3 taste of the fair. That's right, on Thursdays.
Yes.
So you can also get special little tasting. You talk about grazing around the fair, special little tasting portions on Thursdays.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All day?
Yes.
The whole day?
Yeah. No. Yes.
Or in the
whole
evening?
day.
Doesn't matter?
Well, it's from noon to 4.
Oh, noon to 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can get the $3. That's a good idea because that sounds
So you get a little
fun.
taste of a lot of different things.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And then you have some celebrity and local chef demonstrations. What will those be?
Oh my goodness, you can learn everything from how to put together a beautiful charcuterie platter to how to, make use of every single bit of food that you get by cooking with, I hate to say it, it sounds horrible, but cooking with scraps and stems and things like that. You can learn how to incorporate all the pieces of your food into food and make it sustainable and good. And we're even having a bartender's challenge. Yes. They're going to have to use sustainable pieces of food and make wonderful and amazing drinks. So that'll be exciting.
My take. That'll be taste testing.
That's right.
Because it's National Martini Day today.
That's right. We heard.
You guys got a nice early start. I like that.
All right. Well, you have some goodies in those bags. Let's check them out.
Yes, we want to make sure that everybody, knows that they can come to the fair.
You got cups. Nice. We have the cup.
And we love our farm animals, so we want to have farm animal ears.
Love.
And of course, we have our little steer squeezies.
Oh,
he's inviting everybody to come out
stressful
to the
moments.
Oh, yes. Hey, that's my stress one.
And of course, we have our theme this year, Acres of Fun. And so we are giving people little herb pots
Throw some basil.
And
Yes.
little instructions on how to make fancy cocktails and
watermelon
mocktails out of
crushers.
that.
All right.
Yeah,
Nice.
so we're going to have
Super
to leave
fun.
this here with you. Plus, you've got a nice fancy button, so you can come to the.
Oh, and the buttons. Look at all these fun little
There we
goodies.
go.
I love
Got
it.
some
Oh, and a button too. All right. Well,
Right.
excellent. Well, thank you so much. It was very nice to talk to
Very
both
nice
of you.
to talk to you, too.
Super fun. I will definitely like to come and check out some of the food,
Great.
so we'll make a connection there.
Thank you.
We'll
All
see you
right.
there.
Okay, thank you. And remember, the Orange County Fair is July 12th through August 11th, and you can see the cute little piggies. We'll be right back. Have a look.
They look great.
Before I tell you what I'm about to tell you, let me tell you that it's very important that you listen to what I'm going to tell you. Looking good, Albert. The people have spoken. They want a man of action. Real gold? They want a leader who will stare boredom in the face and say, not on my watch. Insert me, Rob Riggle, the new mayor of Funner, California. It's not a word, it's a place. Funner!
Get out and live your life with the Buzz Around XL travel scooter from Golden. The Buzz Around is fun to drive with a tight indoor turning radius so you can go just about anywhere. It's also so easy to charge and offers all-day range so you can go further. The Buzz Around even has more leg and foot room for all-day driving comfort. Be safe with the XL's ultra-bright LED headlight. Plus, the Buzz Around XL can be easily taken apart into several lightweight pieces. See for yourself just how easy and affordable mobility freedom can be.
And our movie coming up today is The Grinch, the classic Grinch movie, the holiday movie that has to deal with a grumpy old Grinch and the classic tale. But this is a modern take on it. It came out last year, and this was brought out by Illumination. Those are the same folks who do the Minions movies and Despicable Me. And it's really well done. We saw this in the theaters, and I thought they did an excellent job with this. I didn't care years ago that live action one very much, but this one, very well done. It was a lot of fun, too. And this stars the voice of Benedict Cumberbatch as the grumpy old Grinch, and everyone knows the story of this. Short movie, it's about an hour and a half long. We'll bring that to you today, and this part was really funny. We bring that to you today at 2 and at 6 o'clock. And we actually got, every year I give my daughter an advent calendar for Christmas, and last year we got this one. So that was a good one too, I have to admit. Now, on Friday, this is a movie called On the Basis of Sex. It's not what you think. It's about it's a biography drama about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and it's her story about her struggles for equal rights and the early cases of a historic career that led to her nomination and confirmation as a Supreme Court Justice. So this is, I haven't seen this movie. I hear it's very well done. It stars Felicity Jones as Ginsburg. Armie Hammer is in this, and it's about 2 hours long. So we'll bring this to you Friday. So really good film. It had very positive reviews, and I think you'll enjoy this one. So that will be on Friday. All right, I want to tell you a couple events that are going on this week. One is the American Legion is having their monthly dinner, and they'd love to have you join them. If you're not part of the American Legion, you are welcome to go there, find out what it's all about. The cost is $15 per person. It's going to be a Hawaiian-themed dinner. And if you would like to go, please RSVP the day before, and you can call Jackie Yenser at 949-228-2744. And it's a good way to kind of meet everyone and find out what it's about, and perhaps join the local post here, 257. They're all a good bunch of people. Also coming up this week on the 29th, that's Saturday, will be the Golden Girls Dance Show, and this is a wonderful celebration of different kinds of dances and music, some traditional, some not. And there are going to be two performances on Saturday. One is at 2 o'clock, a matinee performance. The other is at 7 o'clock in the evening. The tickets are on sale at the Performing Arts Center, and the tickets are $15 and $25, and the proceeds will benefit the foundation of Laguna Woods. So really good show, a lot of fun, and they even have somebody who does Michael Jackson, and from what I've seen the videos of this guy doing it, you would think it was Michael Jackson. Very well done. All right, our weather this week, well, we're going to be in the midst and staying in that of June gloom. And we'll continue at least through Friday. We're going to see these lower temperatures, lower than normal, kind of like what we had yesterday. Although yesterday we got up a little bit warmer, at least in our house. We were about 85 for a short amount of time. Up in the foothills today will be about 80, so not much difference. But here we are going forward. Things will start to warm up a bit as we get to Friday, Saturday. Sunday is looking like we could be more normal temperatures or close to it. But this is usual what we get. In fact, we usually get June gloom all the way through mid-July, it seems. Most 4th of Julys, which is, next week, we always wonder where we're going to be able to see the fireworks because it's so foggy. So this is not unusual at all. The temperatures are. The gloominess, the fog in the morning and in the evenings is not. So around Orange County today and beyond, where you do see normal temperatures are up in the mountains. Lake Arrowhead, 75 degrees. That is nice for them. That's normal for them. Big Bear is going to be very nice as well. They're above all this. And then Palm Springs at 105. They've been over that 100-degree mark now for quite a while. So that's normal for them too. It's really along the coastal communities. Inland OC and the foothills are getting a little closer to normal today, but still below, everywhere's below by about 5 to maybe even 10 degrees. All right, we will see you tomorrow. You have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.